They're working on a cure.
Hey everyone, welcome to Let's Talk. My name is John, and today we're here to talk about The Last of Us Season 1, Episode 2, Infected. But before we dive into that, if you are a fan of 4K Blu-ray reviews, movie reviews, some tech and game reviews, and now a podcast, if you're into all that, nothing would help the channel out more than by you liking this video and subscribing to the channel. So Episode 2, Infected, was directed by Neil Druckmann in his first ever episode of TV he's ever directed, and he's actually the writer and creative director on the video game, so it's pretty cool that he's actually the one doing this episode. Now, he did help co-write the first episode, and he's been involved with this series from the very beginning, and I feel like his fingers are just all over the series because this does feel like 2 episodes in, the best video game adaptation that we've ever seen, at least from a standpoint where they are really using the source material to the best they possibly could, while the changes that they make to make this seem more like a drama in comparison to a survival horror video game, I think have been, almost every decision they have made has been perfect. Usually when we get this, they take the stuff out that we love, but no, this one, they have really leaned into the fact that this story is just sad. It's a very sad and just almost such a sense of dread in this world that they have created, and that's what the video game felt like too, because, when we jump 20 years from what we saw how the world was. Now, both episodes, the first episode and the second episode, have actually started on cold opens where we are finding out about this fungus through different parts of the world. And in this episode, we open with a scientist explaining to people, because they took her, basically the police came and grabbed her and they need her to look at this because they don't understand what's going on. She looks into the microscope and she just looks fear, this fear on her face. She sits down on the couch and she's explaining to, I guess, this sergeant or lieutenant or something of either the army or the police force, and she's like, you gotta bomb it. You gotta bomb the whole city. Like, there's no way. And, she just wants to go home with her family. I guess her family's in that city, so she's willing to die, too. And there's just nothing can be done to beat this. It can't be beaten. And then we jump into the future. We're back with our characters from last week. We're back with Joel, Ellie, and Tess. And Ellie is on display in this. Before we go any further, this episode I will be talking full spoilers about. I don't think I can do these episode reviews without spoiling it, especially since the way this show has been running through my head. It's just been, I'm seeing the game, I'm seeing the show, so I'm just going to be probably jumping a little bit all over the place. So this episode opens with Ellie, almost on display, at the zoo, which makes perfect sense because, Tess and Joel do not understand how she hasn't become infected yet. They can't understand it. And Joel's so skeptical. He's like, she's gonna turn at some point, even though she survived the night and everything. And this area, it's so well lit and it's just got this overgrown, like the whole world is, but the way that she is, she's just, the way the lighting is on her, she's literally on display for them. And it just looked beautiful. That's one thing. Another thing about this show that I cannot express how good it's been has been the cinematography and the set design. First of all, it looks just like the game, but better, which is, I know and that's still selling it short. It's just gorgeous. So well lit. You could see where that HBO money went, and it went into making these sets look incredible. And sets that just came right out from the game, no less, because after they leave this area, we get to see a little bit of Ellie fleshed out a little bit, and we get to see that sense of humor that we all know from the game. And I really do think that Bella Ramsey actually has been nailing the character so far. And again, I haven't seen too much yet. We'll have to see how she does with more of the dramatic moments. But I do think she's got that sense of humor and that kid who grew up only in the apocalyptic world and never saw the world before the apocalypse has, and how her view of the world is so different compared to Joel's world. I really do think that Bella Ramsey has nailed that aspect of the character. Now, we haven't seen the dramatic side yet, so, the jury's still out. Now, Pedro Pascal, he's got Joel down to a T. He's perfect as Joel. I'm not too surprised, but how many other actors do you think are jealous of Pedro Pascal in Hollywood? This guy is the lead in 2 of the biggest shows right now, in The Mandalorian and The Last of Us, and on top of that, he's just an extremely talented film actor. I would be jealous of this guy. And then once they start going, they're heading to the state building. They start walking out into the world, and we really see what this world is. We get to see the apocalyptic world, all the cars abandoned, just like we saw in the game, the overgrown grass and flowers, just all this is just abandoned, it's dirty, it's run down, and again, the set design is incredible. They make their way into a building, and then that's the first part where we see, and this is right out of the game again, where it's over flooded, and in the game, Ellie can't swim. And she can't swim in this show either. And I thought, oh my god, are they going to put her on like a board and is Joel going to push her to the other side? They didn't actually do that, but it would have been really cool if they did. But I like that they kind of referenced that. And they also referenced the fact that Ellie can get into smaller spaces than the two of them. And last week I knocked Anna Torv's test. I said I didn't really like how she was. She felt like she was delivering lines. And I wasn't too sure if I was behind the casting of the actress Anna Torv for that. Well, this week, they proved me wrong because she did a phenomenal job in this episode. And this is the episode, if you have played the game, where Tess actually dies. So in the game, she passes away almost similar to this, but they really fleshed out this death scene way more than they do in the game. And they also added something that, from what I've read, people are very mixed on. And that's when that one infected goes up as she's about to die and kisses her. And I mean, I've never seen anything like that, but the way the thing's tongue looked, I mean, the way it was just a growing plant, I mean, it was disgusting, but the imagery was incredible. So I was behind that. I don't really understand exactly what they're trying to show. I know that the connection between the fungus, the infected, and the humans is more than we know, and Tess makes a point to point that out to us, and I guess they're going to flesh that out even more as the show goes on, which will make her death seem more important than it is right now. Again, Anna Torv did such a great job in this episode, and I mean, this was definitely a showpiece for her. She did a great job showing exactly all the emotion she needed to show, that fear, and then when she comes to accept the fact that she's gonna die, the emotion on her face, and you know, again, how cold this world is. Just the fact that Pedro Pascal's Joel looks at her and she tells him to go, and you know, these two have a relationship. Like, they've really been each other's support system this entire time. She tells Joel that Ellie is important, you have to save her, and when she's gonna die and he knows it, he just turns around cold-hearted, no goodbye, and that's just the way it is. It's that cold-hearted. You have to be to survive, and that's what Joel and Ellie are going to be going through right now. Joel is that cold-hearted man. He's been through hell and back, and Ellie is like this innocent girl who just never really got a childhood, and now she's stuck with this where she's like the chosen one because she can survive this. And now we're going to find out going forward that Joel, you know, how much he cares for Tess and respects Tess, and the fact that she was willing to sacrifice her life for somebody else who she believes can actually help save the human race. That moment got me. I thought it was incredibly heartfelt, and I thought they did a great job building to that. And then, of course, the big thing in this episode, we got clickers. We get to see the clickers on screen for the first time. So if you don't know what clickers are, they're these like overly infected. Their faces are like just all cut up. They are super infected pretty much. And they are blind, but they're not deaf. So you have to sneak around them because if they come at you, they take a lot more damage than a regular infected will. And you're going to waste a lot of bullets. Now in a survival horror game, that means a lot. And The Last of Us is, you know, it's not the worst. It's not like Resident Evil, but in the sense that, you know, you're given enough ammo, but you're going to waste a lot of bullets on these guys. And the show really showed that these things are not easy to take down, and you really want to sneak around them. And that tension in that scene was great. Like, who's going to step on something? The first time it's Ellie, then it's Joel, and it's just that, and then you got to try and take these down. And that tension in those scenes really sells how dangerous these are, because we see a bunch of the infected down in the streets, and, you know, they're not going near them. So the best way to handle this whole situation is just to keep sneaking around, because once they all find out where you are, they're going to come a-coming, and they're going to get you. So this is probably the best course of action, is just to stay low, keep quiet, and just head on your merry way. But I'm really enjoying my journey so far. Everything has been hitting and everything has been firing on all cylinders. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey have definitely been doing a great job. The cinematography is phenomenal. They are very, very loyal to the games, and I really feel like the changes that they have made have been phenomenal. I don't think they've made a bad decision yet. They got that emotion perfect. They got the score perfect. And I think having a director like Neil Druckmann involved, who knows the game, and the fact that he helped direct that game and have him and trust him enough to actually direct the show himself in episodes, really just shows that HBO, at least when it comes to The Last of Us, you know, HBO's in trouble right now with all the decisions that they're making, but so far they haven't dropped the ball once with The Last of Us, and it just looks like we're on pace for another Chernobyl or Watchmen, where it's just a great series from HBO, and I'm really hoping that the last 7 episodes of this first season are just as good as these first 2 episodes. But have you guys been watching The Last of Us? What do you think? Let us know in the comments section below. And if you're here for our digital code giveaway, well, it's Monday, and we do that here on the channel every single Monday. So, if you just happen to stumble upon this video and you're wondering what is our digital code giveaway, well, on Friday's video, and this week it happened to be our review of Guardians from 2017 and its Shout Factory Blu-ray release, we asked you guys 2 digital code giveaway questions, and we will do this every single week. Either Matt and I will ask you 2 questions, and this week's questions were, what is a bad movie that you consider good? What's a really good bad movie? We got a lot of great answers on that one. We also just asked you simply, what is your favorite superhero movie? And we obviously had a lot of different answers on that. Everyone's got a bunch of different answers. You know, we got The Dark Knight in there, we got Iron Man, we got Avengers Endgame. But nobody picked my favorite superhero movie of all time, and that's Batman 1989. That movie still speaks to me. I just rewatched it again this past weekend. I didn't watch the whole thing, I just watched like the first 45 minutes, but man, what a movie. So that would have been my choice for the best superhero movie of all time. But, you know, movies like The Dark Knight and Avengers Endgame, those are all floating around my top 5. You really can't go wrong. Those are still all classic films. But if you did answer one of those 2 questions in the comment section below, we put your name on a magic wheel, I spun that bad boy twice, and we picked our 2 winners. So let's see who those 2 winners are. First wheel spin coming up. Rick Sashawan. All right, Rick, I think you've won before. Congratulations. We're going to remove you. Wheel spin number 2. Gina Lopez Molina, congratulations. All right, congratulations, Gina and Rick. Rick has actually won, I think, twice now. Gina, I believe this is actually your first time on the wheel, so congratulations. I don't remember ever typing your name in before, and congratulations, you won, I believe, on your first shot. We have people who have been on this wheel since there was like 7 or 8 names on it, and you got lucky on your first try. Congratulations. And if you don't know how to claim your digital code, all you have to do is direct message us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Even if we don't really use our Instagram, you can direct message us there. Or you can always reach out to us on our email at letstalkentmt@gmail.com. Let us know which of the digital codes that you saw on your screen before you today you would like. And as long as the other winner didn't take it, that digital code is all yours. So congratulations again, Gina and Rick. And to everybody else who didn't win this week, thank you so much for entering the digital code giveaway. Come back to this Friday's video. We'll ask 2 more digital code giveaway questions. You can comment and enter into next week's digital code giveaway. And as always, guys, thank you so much for being a fan of Let's Talk. We really do appreciate your support. If you want to listen to that new podcast show we have, although the videos will still always be here on YouTube, all those links are in the description below. Nothing would help us more than by you liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and then telling all your friends.